Welcome to Hobby Heroes with Todd Sawatzky Appraisals. I am Todd Sawatzky. Today I am truly excited to be sharing a video, in fact an interview I had with today's hobby hero, Mr. Daniel Vitale. Mr. Vitale himself happens to be the owner of a truly unique, one-of-a-kind, and incredibly valuable piece of sports memorabilia, an American flag signed by football great, football legend, Tom Brady. This particular flag has had all sorts of media attention over the last year, so I am truly excited to be able to share this interview with you, as well as allow Mr. Vitale himself in the video to show off this gorgeous piece of memorabilia. I hope you enjoy the video and interview as much as I had speaking with Mr. Vitale himself.
Hello there. Hello, Daniel. This is Daniel Vitale. As for anyone who's watching this, and people know, especially south of the border, Dan is the owner of a particularly famous flag that was signed by Tom Brady. We will get into that in a little bit, but this is a new segment I want to call Hobby Heroes, where I want to showcase a collector, a hero of the hobby. And so, Dan, what got you into collecting sports memorabilia?
Well, first, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. I always appreciate fellow collectors. I've actually been collecting. I have a couple of pictures from when I was about 4 or 5 years old that I probably don't want to share, of me holding some really cool cards, some Jose Canseco's and some Bo Jacksons. My dad actually got me into collecting. We sort of started together. He never really collected prior, but it was like a thing that we did to bond. And so, geez, it's been probably 37, 38 years I've been collecting now. So I love it. I loved it back then. Always love it now.
No, that's fantastic. So the cards is kind of what got you started into it. But I find that even myself as a collector, my collection has evolved over time. Actually, I personally started with cards as well. I still like collecting them today too. But it kind of got me into some other types of memorabilia. So what were some of those items that kind of took you out of the card world per se, and had your collection evolve?
Yeah. So, like I said, I was into the cards at first, and then I've really always just been anything that's a unique item. I have a couple of unique items. I have Bill Belichick's sophomore year high school yearbook, which isn't interesting.
Why not?
I have Tom Brady's high school yearbook. So stuff like that, just anything that really, just connects you with a team or a player, is sort of what really allowed me to diversify from just doing cards. But anything, I'm pretty much into any of that type of stuff. Actually, my middle daughter, Lily, she got me into Pokemon. I don't know how I ever got into Pokemon, but we got into Pokemon right before the pandemic. So that's another little new avenue that we do. It's collecting.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So are you more of a, Pokemon aside now, are you more of a football collector then? Or is that your sport of choice? Or do you have a region that you like to collect from, certain teams?
Yeah, I'm basically probably 45 minutes north of Boston. That's where I grew up, born and raised. So, uh, you know, some teams there. Obviously, the Celtics, the Bruins, the Red Sox. When I was younger, my next door neighbor, he was a vendor at the old Boston Garden. So we were able to, go in there, and then after the game, we could stay, and we got to meet Larry Bird and Red Auerbach, Bob Cooper, all these
really cool,
really unique guys back in the day. So I was really lucky. So I was really into basketball, in my younger days, and then got into football, and then, was a real big Patriot fan um, for a long time. And then I sort of wasn't a Patriots fan for a little bit, but now I'm sort of a Patriots fan again. And we'll get that. But yeah, so those are much the Boston teams, but I appreciate, Michael Jordan was a huge guy growing up for me. I really like Bo Jackson, Mickey Mantle, all that stuff. So I was never really just certain, one team.
Mhm.
I just appreciate it all, really.
Okay. So, well, I mean, I guess that kind of leads us into, well, the infamous flag, shall we say? But for those that really don't know what this flag is, can you explain this, and why did you decide to actually purchase the flag originally, some 20 plus years ago?
Yeah, so it's a real interesting story. So back one, obviously, prior to that, being a Patriots fan, I mean, the Patriots never won anything. They were horrible. They had a couple of good teams, um, but they're not what they are today. I mean, they're a dynasty at this point. Prior to that, they weren't anything. So in 2001, the big season where Drew Bledsoe was the starting quarterback. He was a really good quarterback.
Mhm.
He got Tom Brady came in. Sort of the rest is history on that. But from that moment, here in the U.S., obviously, the events of September 11th were were a real big part in my life. I mean, that was sort of real close to home.
Mhm.
And so that season was amazing. So, obviously they went on to win the Super Bowl, and then, we sort of know the rest. I actually, oh, you there? Did I lose you for
Yeah,
a second?
no, I'm still here. Yeah, just being quiet.
Yeah. So, so I actually came about this flag, and now I went to college, right around 1999 to 2002, 2003. So I was sort of like out of the game for a bit in college.
Mhm.
Um, so I actually happened to be, I don't know if you've ever heard of like a barn find, or like something that you just find randomly. So
Yeah.
I happened to be cruising Craigslist, and I had typed in accidentally Tom Brady, and I forget how I typed it, but anyways, the person who was selling the flag initially had mislabeled it on Craigslist. So
Mhm.
uh, I ended up meeting with him. He's an older gentleman. He was the one who originally purchased the flag. Um, so the flag had flown. They had done a commemoration to in 2001 was the last season of the old Foxborough
Mhm.
and the new Gillette Stadium. So they wanted to do a commemoration of the flag. So they flew this flag, and it was this particular flag was flown the third quarter of the last game of the regular season versus Miami, and then it subsequently went up to auction.
Mhm.
Uh, I think it was probably about a month before they ended up winning the Super Bowl. As a one of one, we can show you the cert in a couple minutes on that. Um, but but yeah, so the man that I ended up getting, he had it in the box for 20 years. I mean, or until I got it. So he had the flag, just really liked it at the time.
Mhm.
He spent a decent amount of money, back in 2001 for something that, the Patriots had never won anything to that point.
Yeah.
So I came across the flag. I saw it on Craigslist, and I was like, wow, this is like a game changer. Like, I mean, this is from the Patriots. This is like Tom Brady. Like, it's a one of one, and then it's a one of one again. So the second I saw it, you know, when I finally purchased it and got it in my hands, I probably drove a little too fast on the road to get to my father's house to show him. And when he saw it, he was pretty amazed.
Yeah, no kidding.
So that's sort of a little bit of the backstory.
Oh, that's really interesting. That's really interesting. So, I guess you've owned the flag for some time, and
Mhm.
you decided that you were going to sell it. So what led you to wanting to sell the flag to begin with?
Yeah. So my initial goal was actually not to sell it. I wanted to basically keep it as like a college fund for my daughters. I have three daughters.
Mm-hmm.
So initially, I was in talks with the NFL Hall of Fame, and they wanted to use it as a backdrop for when Tom Brady and Bill Belichick retired. They were going to do a really big spread there of,
Mm-hmm.
sort of the greatest coach, greatest quarterback of all time. And I love that idea. And they said, actually, maybe you should give it to the Patriots. It'd be a great spot. They have a beautiful hall over there, and I had never been to the Hall of Fame. So I, talked to them, and they loved the idea. They put it right underneath actually the infamous Super Bowl jersey that got stolen, and then finally recovered, Tom Brady's Super Bowl jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Um, to me, that's probably the holy grail. Like that jersey is unbelievable. So for my piece to be displayed right next to it was, as a fan, was a really cool thing. And I just wanted to have the other fans be able to see it. I didn't receive any money for it. I didn't receive a free ticket, nothing. So fast forward about 9 months or so, I have my youngest daughter has autism,
Mm-hmm.
and we had to hire a full-time nanny, and obviously the cost associated with that was pretty rough. So I decided I sort of had to sell the flag. I went to the Patriots, asked them for the flag back. They said, sure, you can have it back, but we had some issues with the flag. So
Oh,
sure that you've seen on the news and ESPN and
yeah.
TM. That's sort of what ended up happening. So, the long and the short, we ended up going through a long litigation with the Patriots, which was a very large uphill battle,
Mm-hmm.
given we were low on funds already. That's why we were selling the flag.
Yeah.
And then it turned out really good. They ended up talking to Tom Brady and getting it signed. And it worked out well because when Tom originally signed the flag, he didn't want to sign it.
Mm-hmm.
And he was assured that it wasn't, doing anything to the flag because it was on the border.
Yeah.
And subsequently, he ended up signing it. So I guess he signed it twice now.
Very true. So, I guess the whole process and with the litigation and everything like that, you had to look for an unbiased third party service, and for those that are watching, I was the one that you hired me to do an assessment on the flag. How many people did you reach out to inquire about it?
Interesting thing about the appraisal, at least in the year, Google it. There's not too many people. Like a few people will come up. So I actually were in talks with two different appraisers before I found you. The first appraiser I talked to, this person seemed to be, I don't want to say the most famous one around, but she had worked with a lot of different companies.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, when I talked to her before I began the process, um, she knew the people at the Patriots Hall by name, and sort of tried to persuade me not to bring litigation. So obviously, I couldn't get a unbiased appraisal from her. The next
Mm-hmm.
person I moved to was a gentleman in New York, actually, and he had done some really good stuff in the past. Unfortunately, he was pretty old when I met with him.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have the internet, so
Oh boy.
I didn't end up going with him because I mean, if you can't get the internet nowadays, like how are you supposed to get like calls and stuff? So I figured at that point, I reached out to another person. They said that they didn't want to do it because they didn't want to get involved with the Patriots. And understandable, here in the US, the Patriots have a long reach within the memorabilia industry. So at that point, I just said, all right, well, I'm going to have to try to find someone who is, a certified appraiser that can look at this item independently with I have no connections. I've never talked to, they, just have nothing to do with anything. And obviously I ended up, I don't even know how I found you. I think it just popped up on Google. And I had saw that you had done some stuff with the NHL Hall of Fame. So I figured, I mean, if this guy can do the NFL or the NHL Hall of Fame, there's some pretty tough stuff with some Gretzky and Lemieux stuff. I was a big hockey guy back in the day as well. So I figured, you're probably not a bad guy to call. So we ended up connecting, and sort of the rest is history on that.
All right. No, well, and I mean, thank you for your business, of course. And, thank you for doing this call after the fact. So now that the litigations that Tom Brady has re-signed signed the flag. So I know there's a lot of steps going on in the background right now. So for the record, like, this is your Thanksgiving Day weekend, or Thanksgiving weekend in the States. Here north of the border, it's just another Saturday, because our Thanksgiving was about 6 weeks ago. But I just kind of wanted to state that, because when this video does get released, this will have been before this interview is before we'll actually know some of the answers, I guess, moving forward. So what is the next steps now?
Yeah. So basically the next steps, I mean, we're still in talks with the Patriots and the ongoing litigation. So hopefully that'll be resolved here pretty quick. But the next step is I'm pretty much right back where I was at a year ago. Unfortunately, I mean, and now this flag, just me personally as a collector, like I wish I could keep it, because I there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears I sort of had to go through for this. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to be selling it. Fortunate other collector. And we'll have some announcements coming up with that as well, pretty quick. And you could also report back on that, when those happen. But yeah, so I'm pretty much in the point where I have to sell it. Unfortunately.
Yeah, no, that is the unfortunate part, because when you do have a prized collectible, they're always tough to change hands. I can't even imagine what you went through when you had the damaged item returned, or the, I can't even imagine your mindset. So I'm really thankful. And I mean, unfortunately it took litigation, but I'm very happy for you that the Patriots went out to make this right for you as well. So
yeah, and I'm sort of glad that I did this as well. I mean, I wish it never happened, and I wish I could have just, parted ways. And obviously it will be beneficial for me and my family, for the finances. But another thing about this too, is obviously, I'm a collector and memorabilia. And nowadays we know that, like, a faded signature to a regular signature, I mean, the price difference is just astronomical.
oh yeah.
The care that's needed with these items, some are priceless, some are very, they're very unique. They're unstable sometimes. So my goal in this as well with the litigation was to really bring light to organizations that want to be a museum, or that they want to curate these items, that, like, you really have to take each item and curate each item, by itself. Like, there's not like okay, well, this has a glass case and it protects from UV. So, like, we'll just throw everything in there.
Yeah.
Each item really needs to be curated on the specs of the specific item. So hopefully this helps another fan down the road and they don't have something damaged. At the end of the day, I'm a fan. I wanted fans to see this. That's why I let the hall have it. And, unfortunately, up until this point, it was sort of damaged and they could see it. But, so I'm thankful that we ended up getting Tom to sign it, and really sign it. Just amazing too. He went out of his way to make sure that the signature was just top notch. So
No, that's fantastic. Well, I think I'm good with my questions, but now my real question is, are we gonna have a chance to see this beautiful flag?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's not too many people who've seen this. They've seen pictures.
Mhm.
But I'm going to sort of give you a quick rundown of a lot of the things that we have, and just to show, um, a lot of times there's authenticity questions with items. And if this can help a fan really try to, remember that like every inch of authenticity matters at the time, take pictures, take care of the item. But yeah, so let's have at it. We'll start
All
showing a
right.
couple. So we have a few items here. So this just sort of shows the extent of the authenticity that we have in the items. So this is a real unique certificate. I don't know if you guys can see it that good.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, if you pull it back just a little bit. Yeah,
yep,
I see that, the certificate of authenticity, authentic stadium flag, third quarter Patriots versus Dolphins on December 22nd of 2001. So
yep.
that's
This was from the Patriots. With the one of one. This is in absolutely pristine shape. I mean, there's not even a. If this was a card, it would probably be a PSA 10. And then obviously we have, our TriStar printout with
Yep.
the skirts. Um, we also have the original signing laminated from Tom Brady. I don't know if you can see it there pretty
Oh,
well.
that's interesting.
Yeah,
You back, yeah, right. Yeah, right there is not too bad, but that's actually that's cool. I don't think I saw that before.
yeah. So that's obviously just with my item particularly, it's been authenticated so many times at the point that there's probably not an issue. The Patriots re-authenticated as well before the lawsuit began.
Hmm.
Um, but just keeping these type of items, for a collector, these are the type of things that you just want to have. And then we have this was the original printout for the auction.
Okay.
Uh, and actually you can see here, this was actually a picture of the flag being flown at the stadium.
Oh,
Uh, which is pretty unique.
yes, yes, it is.
So that's pretty cool. And then just for uniqueness, um, we have just a printout from actually the actual newspaper from that game, which is sort of
Oh,
interesting.
okay.
And then we have the loan agreement between myself and the Patriots.
Hmm.
You always want to keep a copy of those.
Yeah,
And,
yeah. If you miss out on a payment, you got to give it back.
and then we have this was the actual display information that was in the hall
Hmm.
underneath the flag. So that
So
was
this was the Patriots Hall of Fame, correct?
correct. Yep.
All right.
And then we have another unique item, which you are the first person to see this. Oh, wait, let me see. See if I have this here. Oh, I think I have it in the other one. But anyways, it was a certified letter from the Patriots on the Patriots letterhead that was letting them know that they wanted me, or that they had a chance to have Tom resign it. So that's a pretty cool part of this whole
Oh,
memorabilia.
absolutely.
So I guess the reveal. All
I
righty.
see you
So
got a
here,
fancier case than you had last time.
yes, yeah, we tried to. Well, this had to be shipped to New York City for Tom. Tom signed it, so I needed something that wasn't gonna wasn't gonna get messed up. This
Well,
is
and
actually a
there's a lot of great cases as well that can protect collectibles. So it looks
yeah.
like you didn't cheap out on that. That's for sure.
No, and I probably won't make this public, but this is a letter that I wrote to Tom uh, for the signing that he saw, which was pretty cool as a fan.
Hmm. Absolutely.
So here is the flag box.
Hmm.
Uh, I don't know if you can see that a little bit, but we have, I'll take it out for you.
Well, I have been able to see that once before, but it's interesting to see how teams will send, or when teams sell items, it's interesting to see how they box them up and when they distribute them to the customers.
Yeah, so this was actually the original box from the flag manufacturer, and you can see, I don't know if you can see that sticker there.
Yeah.
That's the Millennial Edition from 2000.
Mm-hmm.
So the box itself is pretty unique. We have all the barcodes from when the Patriots purchased it from the flag company. And this is 4 feet by 6 feet, so it's a very large flag. But so I guess we will carefully do the reveal. All right, here it is.
Look at that. That signature looks fantastic.
Try to keep that.
And of course, you can also see the original signature that was faded right beside it too. So that is, it's really interesting to see the comparable. Of course, you got the new signature that is really using up the whole border, which looks gorgeous. But of course, then seeing the faded signature beside it, and this is where, I mean, I saw the photos of what it looked like prior to it going to the Patriots Hall of Fame. So I can see why you would have wanted to pursue litigation, just due to the fact that it did damage it so much and faded the autograph so badly. So note to anybody watching, sunlight and signatures are not a good mix.
No. And the nice thing is that autograph, and I'll try to get it up a little bit here better for you, better view. But the autograph, I mean, you can, if the T is gone, unfortunately, but if you're a Tom collector, you can tell that that's one of his original signatures. But let me show you this too, and this is a new item. Let me see.
Okay, so, yeah, you got the Fanatics hologram on there, which is new. The TriStar one was below it, but what I really like is what the Patriots did with the decal that they had stitched out to put on the border. I thought they did a beautiful job of that.
Yeah, and let's just take another quick look at that. Yeah, I mean, and that's what's so amazing. Like when you see this piece in person, obviously on a video you can see it, but the stitching job and the quality of the flag itself, and obviously the quality of the new signature. I mean, the new signature is just, it's dark. You can tell that the signature didn't bleed in. It was very flowing. As far as the Tom autograph, you can tell that he took care in the autograph when he signed it. And I'm sure, just like a Wayne Gretzky guy who really likes his autograph, you really know his autograph from the younger days to now. So it's interesting because you can actually compare a side by side of signature 17 years ago versus today. But this is, I don't know a finer example of Tom's current signature than how this is laid out here. I mean, it's, and any Tom Brady collector, especially a signature guy, would know it's gorgeous. So I hate to part with it, but it's sort of, it's a piece that I hope that can be passed down to fans, for a long time. I mean, I think this
very, very true. And I mean, the one way that you can also look towards it is that flag is going to help provide some extra security to you and your family as well. So the reasoning behind needing to sell the item is the most important part. But it's just unfortunate you had to go through what you did to get to this point. So
Absolutely. And a real cool thing that we're going to do actually. So my daughter's autism clinic is located in New Hampshire, and they've had a lot of lack of funding uh, this past year from just things outside their control. So what we've decided to do is, because I am selling this, to support my family and to support her, we're going to donate a portion of the proceeds of the sale to Spectrum Connections. That's the name of the clinic in
Oh,
out
that's
of New Hampshire.
fantastic. What I'll do is I'll make sure to add a page and their link at the end of this video
Yeah,
as well.
that would be great. They're really good people, and um, you know, with autism, unlike a lot of other unique diagnoses for children, it's just it's costly for families, and there's a lot of awareness to the bigger companies, and the awareness has been amazing. It's come night and day from 10 years, but still, like, the everyday, the family struggle, it's a lot, and there's only so much support. So we feel like this is going to be donated for a really good cause. We're going to try to donate as much as we can. We're going to try to continue to raise awareness. So it's sort of, when I part with it, I'll feel really good on a number of different levels. So I'm excited for the next collector to have it, and it's a great, unique piece.
All right. Well, you know what? Very simply put, I want to thank you for taking the time to do this video with me today. And thank you for reaching out all those many months ago when we spoke for that very first time. And I'm glad that we're continuing the relationship, and things are going well on that front. But I'm glad that in a small way I was able to help you be able to get to this point. And
Yeah.
so it's been a pleasure working with you.
Yeah, and I really appreciate it. I appreciate you as well. I mean, I feel like for anybody watching, looking for someone to go to who can just be really independent, but yet know that, I feel like you're a collector, I think, at heart, and that makes a difference, because when you're selling a unique, one of a kind item, this is gonna, some corporation isn't going to buy this, like a unique, um, sort of one of one fan is going to buy this. So to really understand where the memorabilia industry is at, where it's going, where it's been, I think that's half the battle with finding an appraiser. So, it's been a real simple process with you. I would definitely recommend you, no doubt, but I appreciate it just as from one collector to another. So.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to close off this video, but uh, as I indicated earlier, there's going to be some more news before this video because this video is being taped long before all the information is going to come out there. I will definitely be adding the little tidbits to the story at the very end of this. But thank you so much for taking the time, and I can't thank you enough for sharing the flag with me and being a hobby hero. All right.
All right. You take care.
You betcha.
Thank you, Dan, for being a hobby hero and showing us that American flag signed by Tom Brady twice. Interestingly enough, this weekend, April 1st, 2023, that flag is going up for auction at a very low starting bid of $299,000. How high is it going to go? I just don't know, but I'm sure, I do know, I am looking forward to finding out. As you also heard during the interview, Mr. Vitale's daughter has autism, and some of the money being raised by the sale of this flag will be going to an absolutely wonderful organization called Spectrum Connections. I will be including some information and links to this organization at the end of this video. If you would like to please subscribe to my Todd Sawatzky Appraisals page, or be part of any of my future hobby hero videos, please feel free to reach out to me. via the comments or any of my other social media links. I hope you enjoyed viewing this as much as I enjoyed making it. Until next time.